What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream session with your boy Phrankleen. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to smash the like button. What's up, people? Good evening. It's a bit of a late night one. Late night with Phrankleen. Right. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to just get myself together here. If you can hear me, you can see me, hit the like button. What's going on, people? Welcome to the weekend. So, let me see, man. It looks like I might be out of focus a little bit. Hopefully this is better. Right, great stuff. So, as you know, it's been, what's up, Common Sense Sisters? It's been a bit of a week with the explosive Damaris Fadare, what's up? With the Meghan Markle, Prince Harry story and stuff, all right? But I've basically been following the events, watching everything unfold, and I want us to talk briefly tonight. Greetings, everyone. If you can hear me, you can see me, smash the like button. I want to talk briefly tonight about the bias that I've identified in the course of all of this. So if you've seen any sort of bias, any sort of, if you can see me, you can hear me, hit the like button. Observations, let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. Somebody said Calvary greetings from Canada. So yeah, during the course of the week, events folding, Piers Morgan was forced to step down and but people say, oh, Piers Morgan has been sacked. He actually wasn't sacked. He had to step down. It's become really embarrassing for his employer, ITV. So he had to basically step down. So, when some people were saying, oh, Piers Morgan has been sacked. These people don't get sacked. This is why I'm talking about bias, And my observation, what I really want to talk about is the bias, the agenda of these organizations and what they can get away with that the regular Joe Blog, the regular person like you and I, dare not, get away with. So just imagine you were working for Gap in a Gap store and you are blatantly, regardless of your views and stuff, you are blatantly hounding, let's say, one of your colleagues, and because you have an opinion of them and you harass them, you hound them, and you carry on just hounding, banging and banging. Or here's another version, right? You work for Gap in a Gap store, any clothing store, right? And it's like a formal complaint against you goes to the top, to your head office or something. You and I know, man, you get a sack, okay? So you see, what I find really laughable is, so when you try to talk to these people, by the way, before I crack on, the last video that I made, which was a reaction video, I had so much abuse, mostly from people that, they're clearly not subscribed to my channel, right? They followers of Piers Morgan. They had so much nasty stuff to bombard my inbox with, marked them as spam, reported them. It gives you an insight into how sick a lot of these members of the general public are. Now, this is what I'm saying to you before I crack on. Forget about it, man. People are talking about, oh, Piers Morgan is sacked. No, he wasn't sacked. No. If you get fired, I'm not sure if there's somebody watching this that you've ever been fired in your life. Have you ever seen someone who got sacked, their place of work, that's like your daily bread, that's where you get your paycheck from, and then for whatever reasons, gross misconduct or something, and they fire your black ass or you're behind, right? You're done. You're toast. You know, that's going to shut you down and absolutely affect you emotionally and stuff because they've kicked you out. You've lost your benefit. No, they didn't. He gave an interview to a bunch of journalists that went to his home address. He was mouthing off about he's going to come back. You know, he was calling people that called him out. He called them woke, and he said he was going to come back better and stronger. He has a lot to say. Now, you see, let's put Piers Morgan on the shelf for a moment. So this is how I'm looking. I mean, everyone knows we have a common knowledge about Piers Morgan, but put Piers Morgan on the shelf for a quick moment. Who are the enablers? What's up, House of Coffee? Who are the enablers? Who are the people that provided Piers Morgan with a platform? It's an ITV, it's the establishment. Somebody's saying, why are we even in lights? Hey, yo, listen, man. Look, man, look. Lakeisha or whatever, man. There is a reason why why are we even entertaining this while people haven't got clean water in Africa, right? Let me digress and attend to you. There is a reason. At this very moment, I live in the West, okay? So this is my show, respectfully, okay? So stop. You see, people like you, this is what gets on my nerves, right? It's a trending topic. I would normally not talk about the royal family, but there is a reason, okay? You do yourself as a black person, you do yourself a major disservice, right? When these are the same establishments that a lot of black people work for behind the scenes. You don't know that, okay? You talk about, oh, when we don't have water in Africa. I am not the one that's going to supply water. We have abundance of resources in Africa. Some of the problems that we have in Africa is actually colonial influence, colonial damage, ongoing colonial grip on Africa, all right? You and I can go to Africa and contribute positively in our tiny little ways, okay? To contribute positively into the lives of our brothers and sisters, the young children, but we haven't got the resource, okay, to really effect the change. Do you get what I'm saying? But don't come here and draw a battle line. Do you understand me? I can say whatever I want on my channel. This is what I'm talking about, ignorance of black people. You go on somebody's YouTube page, you are mouthing off, why are we even wasting time? But you forget one thing. This is why you'd have done better off to say, oh, Phrankleen, do you mind engaging me? Right? Rather than you come here and say, yeah, you're wasting time. But what you're forgetting is there are black people that are not as strong, that are not as influential as Piers Morgan, that work for these establishments, right? That dare not do what Piers Morgan has done, that can't even get away with it. We're not talking about we want them to get away with unfair or nasty behaviors. But what I'm telling you is, if we live in a country where organizations like this provide a white man with a platform where he can harass, he can hound people, you can imagine what would potentially happen to those black people at the bottom end of the spectrum who have no voice. All right? So, like Lakeisha Woodruff, let me tell you, man, I'm gonna have to block you. All right. We have no time for people who talk out of both sides of their mouth, okay, that are blinded by emotion. If you want to, I don't even mind. I can add you to the string. All right. If you have some kind of madness inside of you, go and get your COVID test done. Book a flight. Go to the motherland. Go across Africa. Go and build wells. You don't have to listen to me. This is the problem with very myopic and narrow-minded black folks like you. In fact, you are the toxicity that we need to weed out of the black community. People like you come with aggression, you have no substance. All right? Because if you are a thinker, you would understand that the point of view, I'm not here for gossip. Oh, Piers Morgan, thank you, Festus, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Oh, Piers Morgan, I'm not here for, oh, Piers Morgan was wearing a Versace suit and tie. Oh, Piers Morgan was wearing an Armani jacket. I'm not talking to you about any nonsensical gossip. I'm looking at this, logically, and we're trying to, SL, I see you, SL. we're trying to unpack it. ITV, the organization, GMB, the organization that hired somebody like Piers Morgan, they provided him with a platform. Now, this is where I'm looking at it from. This guy can get away with, and for the records, these are the type of people that I block from my platform. You can see that I gave that person an opportunity to be reasonable. We have this type of black folks everywhere, even offline, right? They just get angry for nothing. And this is the problem. They regard themselves as clever, but you are not. You don't understand. We live in a country where they don't want you to talk about racial bias. That's why I say hue bias. They don't want you to talk about it, right? Now, as I was saying, there are tons of black folks that work for these. I mean, come on, man. ITV, BBC, all the big organizations that you find black folks in the banks and all that stuff. If you're being subjected to racial bias and all that, they don't want you to speak up. They will throw abundance of resources at you to shut you down, right? Now, before I talk about the latest news with Meghan, all right, Piers Morgan was blatantly given a platform to hound to death this woman, all right? Doesn't mean I'm Meghan's friend, I'm pro Meghan, but I'm watching, who is this, calm down. I'm watching these, what do you call it, man? Of course, thank you, A6, is it A86 Lio? Very rude and biased personality. Is unapologetic white supremacist. Look, man, you see, did you hear what I said earlier? Let's even leave Piers Morgan on the shelf. My point here is, if you have an enabling environment and you know that you can get away with whatever, oh, you will. So I was looking at this logically and I said, you know what, man? Piers had an enabling environment. This is why I was giving an example. Regular people, everyday people, if you're working, somewhere, regardless of you not liking your work colleague or whatever, you have an opinion and stuff, you know that you have your contract, there are terms and conditions at your workplace, you know that you dare not say such and such and such, HR will pull you up straight, you go beyond your bounds, they fire you, they show you the door, you get out, you lost your job, you're gone, right? You can't get reference. You know how the drill goes, right? Some of you have some work colleagues that you really can't stand, but because of your paycheck, you have to be quiet. But this guy had an enabling environment for bullying, for harassment, he has thousands of followers on social media. He's a well-known figure. He can tweet, it's an enabler. His employer is actually an enabler of the bullying and harassment cycle. So I can't imagine being a junior staff at ITV working alongside such a big figure that can get away with bullying. They will shut you down. They will make sure that you don't get further employment. So I'm coming at the angle of imagine those maybe black young graduates, people that are just moving up the career ladder. They haven't got deep pockets, blacks, mixed race and whatnot, right? And they work alongside people like Piers that can get away with just about anything. They will suppress them. They will absolutely destroy them. Let me show you something, man. So they're saying Meghan Markle. Let me share my screen. Share screen. A lot of I'm going to talk about black community in a moment and our attitude. Don't come to my page and start some Royal Rumble, start mouthing off, and if you've got problems, go get a cold shower, maybe have a cup of tea and go sleep. All right? If you can't talk constructively, don't come here. Right. Just going to show you this very quickly. So Right. These sites later with ads. Yeah, Meghan Markle makes a formal complaint to Ofcom about Piers Morgan after Good Morning Britain presenter said he didn't believe a word of Oprah interview, Oprah Winfrey interview. So she complained to ITV bosses about Morgan, the former co-host of GMB, following the Oprah interview. She reportedly raised concerns with ITV about the effect of Morgan's comments may have on the issue of mental health and on those suffering with issues. I mean, the fact that Meghan Markle had to make a formal complaint. Are you telling me the ITV, that massive organization, don't have abundance of awareness, don't have abundance of resources, are not well informed to know that such behavior amounts to, a huge scale of harassment, right? Could damage people's mental health. Are you telling me that it took this woman filing a formal complaint? Of course, it's Morgan said he quits. Forget that, man. The Duchess has made a formal complaint to Ofcom about Piers Morgan after it dismissed her account of suffering. So imagine somebody saying they're suffering, they had suicidal thoughts and all that, right? And even if you're sat on your couch, I believe in freedom of speech, but if you're sat on your couch in your house, you're watching a documentary or a program on TV, and you have your own interpretation of things and stuff, you're free to have your own views, but to use your platform and to discredit someone saying suicidal, thoughts and stuff, oh, they are lying, particularly those young kids, young teenagers who are facing bullying, people who are very fickle, there might be persons who are at the breaking point. Somebody might watch that and they might get triggered. You just never know. But my point here is this guy has the abundance of opportunity to get away with anything. So his employer is actually the enabler. The employer that received the formal complaint, they're the enabler. Meghan complained to ITV bosses. She raised concerns with the effect of Morgan's comments. Yeah, we already said that. Morgan quit the broadcaster breakfast show on Tuesday. You already know that. So it's now emerged Meghan's complaint is one of the 41,000 received by Ofcom, the UK's communication regulator, which is expected to investigate Morgan's comments that came in the morning after Oprah Winfrey's interview. So there we are. And I can assure you, I can take a bet in advance that they will more than likely gloss over the complaint. These people normally get what I call soft landing. They give themselves soft landing, right? You ever seen someone who's done something bad, who's just, stepped away from a job because, of course, of the public pressure and then the negative publicity? The negative publicity is the reason why he had to leave the job, right? Because ITV wasn't prepared to suck. And then he came into the public domain. I'm going to come back bigger and better. All my haters. So there's no remorse. This guy doesn't care. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, it's the misogyny, victim blaming, and white privilege for me. Of course it is white privilege. It is. And like I said the last time, I had some people who came here calling me names. What I find really staggering is some of these people that come here and they want to basically tell us black folks, they want to give you a script. They really want to force it down your lungs. This is how you are meant to react to racism or racial bias. You're not even allowed. Where I believe this society is heading towards is basically to try to scrap complaints about racism. So even if you are, who is this? Who is this, man? Who is this? I'm looking at. Let me just say, if you come on this page and you start to spew racist comment, you should know you're going to get blocked. Okay, this is not a breeding ground. We have zero tolerance for racial bias. Okay, it's okay to disagree. Let me be clear. Doesn't matter if you're white or black. It's okay to disagree. Okay, we like grown-up conversations. It's okay to see things maybe from a slightly different point of view, or to have your own contributions. But if you come into the timeline and you start, you know, I mean, I think it does one thing. It proves my point. Okay, but you're going to get an instant block. Just imagine a mallet. Pow. All right. Of course, there's a lot of them. That's what they do, man. They Jermaine, my brother, they infiltrate timelines. They're very angry. This is what I'm saying. It's the attitude for me. It's the attitude. It's like we are not meant to express ourselves. It's like you shouldn't even as a black person talk about ill treatment, talk about racist treatment. As soon as you talk, the other day, I was here. I don't know if some of you remembered. There was a guy that came on the timeline and said, "Oh, there's no racism to be seen. There's no racism in the UK." Look at what they did. Look at what they did. Meghan and Harry, their interview was aired. You know, was it on Tuesday or something? When was it aired? Was it Monday or I've forgotten now what day? Now, the next morning, they had Meghan's father. They had Meghan's father mudslinging against his daughter. First of all, what kind of father is that, man? Right? Imagine Meghan's father saying he doesn't believe that the person that might have made, comments about the baby's color and stuff was in fact, maybe racially biased or something like that. First of all, you were not present. You were not a witness to that event. You were not present, but they had to bring you in to discredit your own daughter. It's staggering. So and we wonder why that man has no relationship with his daughter. They had to pay you to discredit your own daughter. It's crazy, because my jaw was literally, and he didn't he say something along the lines of, "Oh, Britain is not racist," like that. There's no racism to see. It's like just putting everyone together and just collectively, just basically trying to insult our collective intelligence. Thank you. Somebody said racism is a power struggle. What is it? Apart from the fact that you're worried that, what would the baby look like and stuff like that. I would be concerned. Like, why is that a topic? Why? Every man, I'm gone. This is every man. Way before you go, man. Let me block you, man. The long and short of what I'm saying tonight is what we've seen is simply a reflection of the wider society, the wider society's attitude towards issue of racial bias. Look at the amount. This is what I'm saying. Look at the amount of celebrities that came out defending him. You see, sometimes, for those of you that have been watching me for a minute, the people that really watch Phrankleen, right? We say it like it is on here. These are the same people that will come on TV and talk about bullying. Oh, cyber bullying needs to stop. A lot of these women, cyber bullying needs to stop. Oh, people can take their lives if they're subjected to, cycle of cyber bullying. The police should be called. A lot of these celebrities, you see them, oh, bullying needs to come to an end. The police need to do more. Blah, 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 blah. Most of them females. A lot of these women jumped out to back Piers Morgan. Show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. So the only person who kind of backtracked today, what's her name? Sharon Osbourne. She was one of the ones that came out, guns blazing, talking and defending, you know, Piers Morgan. It's only when they realize that there is a backlash, it's going to affect their checks, it's going to affect their public profile. Then she came out backtracking, apologizing for coming out the way she did to defend Piers Morgan. But I can assure you that they are very good friends. It's the hypocrisy for me, man. The same people, a lot of these people, right, that are saying, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong to see here, right? If you just get in an argument with them, a lot of these hypocritical celebs, if you get in an argument with them, in that, just along the lines of the corridor, they would say they feel threatened. They will be running to a therapist the next morning. But they can come out to lend support to a man who we can bring out a truckload of publicly available evidences to show how he's been harassing and hounding that woman to death. They're lending him support. Lency, thank you for the super chat, man. We, as did not create racism, we can't keep explaining it. That's a conversation they need to have amongst themselves. Thank you for saying that. But you know what's funny? The society, very dismissive, all right? There's nothing that drives me up the wall when you have someone, you know, a white person, basically wanting to tell a black person how to react to racism. They don't want to hear our voices. This is what I'm telling you, man. And I'm going to bring this back home. This is why I always say to black people, you see, there's always a lesson in here for us to learn. So what's the closure in here for me? Look, black people have no allies. This is why I've said in the numerous contents, okay, we are our own best resources. Okay, let's forget about biases and all that for a moment, okay? You go somewhere, somebody said something to you, treats you unfairly. I get that, okay? It hurts, it's unfair, you want to get justice and all that. But I talk about internally within the black community. If we don't start to build amongst ourselves, we don't love ourselves. This is what I'm saying. We have no allies. We have no friends. We are the best resources that we've got. A lot of these establishments, when you have issues of racism, look, if it's harassment, somebody was aggressive in how they spoke to me, somebody said, who is this person? Naked Truth. Let me see. Give me a second. I don't normally like Piers, but I agree with him on this. Meghan's case is not about racism. You are absolutely wrong. But of course, you have the right to your own opinion. It's about racism. Point blank simple. It has been from day one. Now, let me be clear. Okay? You see, again, people who are neck deep in racial bias, they will start scraping and fishing for excuses. Oh, she was separated from a previous. Look, it doesn't matter if Meghan was in 4 previous marriages before she met Harry. It doesn't matter the state of a relationship with some of our family members. All of these things that you are coming up with. Oh, look at the state of a relationship with her father. They are totally irrelevant. They can never be a justifiable reason for racial bias. Oh, some people said Meghan came into the royal family to gain is a social climb. You know, everyone's got their opinion, and some of those opinions are quite toxic, right? Oh, she's using Harry. Now, do you know my favorite part of all of this? And yes, before I forget, do you know my favorite part? Some of you that have been watching my content for a minute, do you know my favorite part? When I read comments online, you get a lot of all these, mostly females, right? Check this out. Check this out. Oh, Meghan is a user. Oh, Meghan Oh, she's using Harry to raise her profile. She's using for monetary benefit. Oh, she fleshed Harry away from his family. Blah, blah, blah. Mostly females, of course, and brothers too, men, right? But check this out. So, hypothetically speaking, if you were to be in Meghan's shoes, right, and you happen to be hounded to death, you are subjected to what one could call a toxic environment around your in-laws, right? Particularly very powerful people, right? Now, which would you prefer? Be honest with me. A man that's spineless, that throws you to the wolves to be ripped to shreds, or a man that protects you and the wonderful bundle of joy, the children that you gave him? Which would you prefer? So if your man realized that you're being treated unfairly and he decides to say, you know what, baby, let's relocate. Let's let me read some of these comments. Give me a second. She refused to follow royal protocol. They freeze people out who don't follow protocol, regardless of race. She was notorious for being difficult. Who told you this? Who told you this? The mainstream media. She refused. Come on. So basically, what you're saying is she was obnoxious. She was troublesome. A troublesome black woman. How do you know that? What credible evidence do you have? She refused to follow protocol. How do you know? What? Where did you get that fact from? The same mainstream media? Be careful what you buy into. The same mainstream media that Meghan obtained a successful judgment, court judgment against. The same mainstream media. The same mainstream media that unlawfully published her letter between her and her father, that breached her privacy. The same mainstream media. Be careful. The white aristocrats that are worse than Meghan and never get called out. You know, she said many women wish they were Meghan. So, like I was saying, like, look, everyone's got you got the right to your own opinion. You know, it's did you see her freeze 40 seats at Wimbledon? Again, you're saying, did you see her freeze 40? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. No, I didn't see her freeze. How do you know that Meghan was the one that froze 40 seats? Again, I'm trying to unpack that statement. Did you see her freeze 40 seats? Who told you this? The same mainstream media. How do you know? Now, watch this. Watch this. The same, okay, let me give you an example, right? In the similar pictures, the Kate Williams' wife was seen clutching onto her pregnancy, hand on the belly, on the pregnancy. That's a common thing every day. That's a common thing every day that women do. You see pregnant women have their arms, their hands on their pregnancy. I'm a man. I see that all the time. When my missus was pregnant, she does that. You know, women put their hand, you know, sometimes depending on where they are, maybe strolling, maybe they're sat down, maybe they're leaning on something. So that's not unusual, right? When Kate had that posture in public, they had beautiful things to write about it. Look, this is not me making it up. It's in the public domain. Meghan had exactly the same posture. They had all sorts of toxicity. Some of you still think, oh yeah, it's normal. Well, she should accept it. Just take them and put them next to each other. The same mainstream media. young black footballers that make money from Premiership footballing. They hound them to death because they're young and black, they're young boys, they're playing for top clubs, they're making money, they're able to buy their mums and dads and families homes and live good life. The same newspapers, the mainstream media that go after them, they hound them to death, right? They take their white counterpart, they treat them like angels on the cover pages. You already know this, man. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. When people are in denial, oh, look, I don't want to hear this. Oh, this guy's got a chip on his shoulder. This is exactly what the problem is. If you have to come into my YouTube channel to argue with me on behalf of the mainstream media, then there you go. So like I was saying earlier, if you're a woman, yeah, because particularly those women that are saying, oh, she's trying to hijack him from his family. Is that right? If you were married to a man, like I was saying earlier, and you were being hounded, I'm talking hypothetically, right? You were in a toxic situation and your man grabs you with your lovely children and say, babe, let's relocate, okay? I want your mental health to be intact. Your man, as he should, is protecting you. Tell me what woman doesn't want her man to protect her, right? So would you then go to the mainstream media and say, look at my man, he's adamant on protecting me and the children? Is that right? So the hypocrisy, man, makes me laugh. The hypocrisy. The same media, thank you, who illegally hack phones and oh man. People are jokers, man. The women that are claiming she hijacked Harry wish their men will even do 10% like that for them. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you. Thank you. Well said, Josephine. They're jokers, man. Especially when I see women saying that. I laugh. The hypocrisy is staggering. And I think some of them say this. Maybe deep down inside, they would love to have Harry to themselves, maybe. Why did she make, US, let me read this. US PR team said years back, Meghan PR at Buckingham Palace were always spreading rumors about Meghan and disorganized. There you go. I didn't say that. There you go. What's this? BLM protest in the summer. A few tokens there. And then beat my tolerance. So what these has exposed for me personally is the society's attitude towards racial bias. It's as simple as that. Yeah, of course, Edward. Yes, I agree. Her father sold her letters. Yes, you're correct. The father, man, who would want to have a relation? I mean, people do have frictions within families. That's common. You fall out with your parents, you disagree, you're an adult, whatever, brothers, siblings, brothers versus brothers, brothers and sisters, cousins. People have frictions within families. Most of them get resolved, most of them, if in the worst case scenario, everyone goes their separate ways or whatever, right? But who would want to have a healthy relationship with that type of father? All right? A father that's cashing in on, a ongoing bad relationship with his own daughter. You would go into the public domain to discredit and further damage your own daughter. I don't mind donating. I like this channel. I just don't believe Meghan's case is one to support. There's racism in the UK, but this case is more than racism. Time will tell. Look, man. The naked truth, and it's like I say, you have the right to your own views, and I will defend your rights. Okay, but what I'm saying is, It's the foundation that all of this sits on, carefully sits on, is just racial bias. Simple as. I don't understand black women in this chat speaking ill of Meghan. Look, man, you see, people can't look at. Some people are too busy, basically quantifying, measuring the hue, the color of Meghan's skin and all that. Yeah, she's not fully dark. She's not one of us. Really? Should you be saying that? Whew. Buckingham Palace PR wasn't willing to work for Meghan because she's black, allegedly. Well, yeah, allegedly. But now, following the interview with Oprah, the Buckingham Palace have said they're going to investigate. So let's see. They've come out to refute the claims, but let's see how that goes then. Let's see what they come out with. Let's see what they come out with. Meghan was not paid for the interview. Even if she was paid, I'm not bothered. Oh, did you see that letter from very brief, letter? Of course, I could imagine the legal team, and they had to do something. They had to come out because it's embarrassing. Of course, they had to do something. But for me, I'll keep my eyes wide open. Let's see. But my main point, before I forget, I said it earlier and I'll say it one more time, is it gives you a major insight into what a lot of these organizations in the UK are like. If somebody like Piers, a white male, powerful at that level, he's given a platform like that by his white employers to be able to peddle out and churn out, attacks via the TV, via social media, hound that woman and hound and hound and hound, it's so what do you think of that black woman that earns 30K a year, that's handling the cable for the guy that's moving the camera? What do you think of that little young black sister that's probably working in the accounts department as an accounting assistant? What do you think of that black brother whose work is to probably work in the post room? What do you think of that black gentleman who's just a security guard? What do you think of that? Do you know what I'm saying? How are they going to be able to stand up against prejudice if these organizations are actually the enablers of this type of behavior? Somebody said, Phrankleen, since we're exposing racism, we should explain colorism. All those foolish ladies talking about Meghan not being fully black. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yes, in terms of shade, she's not as chocolatey like someone like me. Big deal. But she's black. Her mother is black. Of course, Junior, you're right. Her mom is, yes. Her mom is. The royal family PL should be sacked, honestly. They're messing up left and right. Just look at. I'm sure the royal family have the best, PR team. What I mean by the best is people that are well informed, that are well paid. They would. I mean, maybe they were reluctant in the past. I don't know, but now, because negative publicity is not something they want, I can assure you. So it's all in the open. Let's see how they actually investigate this, and because they will have to. I'm sure there are meetings going on indoor that we're not private to. It's the same mainstream media that will come out and roll out versions of whatever, man. So I don't, to be honest, because this is a trending topic, I would mainstream media, I don't bother with them, man. But a whole lot of us is what really caused his dismissal was the conflict of interest between ITV's patronage of mental health charity and Piers not believing Meghan's illness. Blue Rock, let me pin that very quickly. What really caused his dismissal was the conflict of interest between ITV's patronage of a mental health charity and Piers not believing, Meghan's illness. You see, that's well articulated. But trust me, it's a lie. In the first instance, if ITV as an employer were really firm, right? Piers is not new to this game. He's been in the industry for years, right? If you know what your terms of employment is, bullying, things that you dare not even conceive in your work environment, right? You wouldn't have the audacity. Do you not understand that when you see the likes of Piers Morgan, Susan Reed, and all these people in front of the camera, just picture in your head for a moment the hundreds of people behind the scenes, the production teams, the editors, and all these teams of people. They are actually the ones, the backbones. There are people that sign off, that make everything. The PS comes into the front of the screen to say what he needs to say. So if the employer does not provide a toxic environment, PS wouldn't be able to do that. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. So anyway, that's me done. Black folks, the struggle continues, man, regarding racial bias, unfortunately. But like I always say, man, we are the best resources that we've got. Trust me, we have no allies. And that's the message we keep getting from the establishment and the handling of, topics like this. It's there in your face. It's right there, man. It's right there. For those of you that keep defending the indefensible, I wish you good luck. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Let me see. Accusations. Nobody named, pointing the finger. It must be true. So, black people commenting. She ain't one of us. The absolute hypocrisy of it. Morris isn't here. Then whites are not as beautiful as black ladies. Super proud of Meghan. And anyways, that's me done. Thank you very much. And hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And I will most definitely catch you in the very next one. And have a nice weekend. Bye-bye now.